So everybody, so you should have Photoshop wide open. Now what I'm going to do is introduce you to a whole new concept. It's called adjustments. As you can see where it says adjustments, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. So here's the thing. I gave you some images to download. So if you go to Classroom right now, you'll see there's an adjustments zip. Okay. I asked you to download. No, you cannot use Chrome for this. You have to use your Macs. Okay. As I said before, the only reason why we're using the Chromebooks, and I hope to never use Chrome again, um, is to access the Macs over here. So when you download, you got to download it into the Mac. Okay, so the first thing is let's go ahead and find a good image, okay? And like I said, there's no specific. What I'd like for you to do is maybe, first of all, find the, well, we can work with a bunch of images. There's the pyramids and things like that. So why don't we start with let's go ahead and start with the pyramids. Right click, open with Photoshop, okay? Or if you want to go ahead and click open, okay, and look for where you've opened, where you have it. So let's go ahead and open the pyramids. Or if you didn't download this, go ahead on the internet and find an image and go ahead and bring it in, okay? If you need my help, please ask me. And this is really small, so I apologize. If you want to find a bigger image, let's go ahead and find a bigger image of the pyramids of Giza. Let me see if I can find one for you. I thought for sure. Anyways, I guess we'll just work with. Well, never mind. I guess they're all small. uh, okay, here's one right here. Copy image address. Well, anyways, if you want to copy this one, it's up to you. It's right here. There it is right there. So you may want to right click, copy image. Okay, copy image. Okay, if you you can also do file new, and then it'll be on the clipboard. As you can see, it's 1300 by 975. So double click and then paste it. Okay, so as you can see, big difference there. So I'm going to use the bigger one. You're welcome to use the one that I just have in there. So it is now 10:19. I'll give you till 10:20 to go ahead and import it. If you need my help, please let me know. And 10:20 came about 10 seconds later. So I'll give you a couple more seconds. If you need more time, please let me know right now, okay? Don't be shy, don't be bashful. But also keep in mind, I need you to also have this open, the Google Slides, okay? So you may want to launch that as well because you're going to be uploading the results. All right, so here's what I'd like for you to do, okay? Now, beforehand, like I said, we've had screen captures of the desktop, and I don't know why my computer is so slow, but you should have a blank screen, a blank slide ready for this, okay? Now, right off the bat, what I like for you to do is in Photoshop, press Command A, okay? Oops, what happened there? I don't know what just happened. Okay, so here it is right here. So press, you can do select all, okay, on the top. Select all or press Command A. Okay, select all or press Command A. Make sure your layer is selected, okay? Make sure your layer is selected. And what I like you to do is edit copy, okay? So once again, okay, select all or Command A. Making sure your layer is selected and then edit copy. What I'd like for you to do is go into Google Slides right now and edit paste. Okay, edit paste. Okay, and there you have it right there. So let's go ahead and shrink the image so that it takes up half the space there. Okay. Anybody have any issues? Let me know right now. Okay, so again, find the empty slide and you're going to paste this right now. All right. And you may want to type using the text tool in slides. You may want to just type, okay, original. All right, there you have it. All right, so you may want to do that. Okay. All right, now let me, if you're ready to move forward, press 1 if you're ready. If not, press 2. Press 1 if you're ready to move forward. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, please. Okay, thank you, Josie. What do we call it? Call what? Well, I didn't ask you to call it anything. I just basically asked you to open up the Google Slides that you're working on, the final project slide, and then open up an empty slide and paste. You're not saving anything, okay? So you're not saving this. You're not going to be saving the if that's what you're calling. If that's what you're referring to, all I did was ask you to highlight everything, select all, okay, and then edit copy. Okay, once you copy, you can copy it and you can paste it onto um, Google Slides. I hope that's clear. All right, so now let's go to image. Okay, up here, let me introduce you to the image tab. As you can see, this is all sorts of adjustments here. The first one I want to show you is brightness contrast. So everybody go to image, adjustments, brightness contrast. Let's do that. And you'll see a little dialog box right here. Okay, so hopefully you're able to see that. If not, you gotta let me know. And you can see that when you move the cursor over, how brighter it gets. Okay, so this is like dawn, night. Okay, and then you've got pretty much 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so put it back to 0, please. Everybody, you can also manually enter 0. And let's try contrast, see what that gets you. Contrast pretty much, oh, by the way, please make sure that the marching ants are not there. Okay, so press the marquee tool and click in here, or Command D. So let's go back to image, adjustments, brightness, contrast. And contrast kind of like, as you can see, it works more with a shadow. It kind of highlights the image. As you can see, if you go to the far right, it actually enhances the image a little bit better, or gives it more of a story. So you can brighten it, and then you can give it a little bit more contrast. You see that? Anyways, I'm going to shrink this down here. And look at that. When I do that, when I have a brightness of -44, in other words, when I dim the lights, but then I bring out the contrast, I bring out the pyramids, look at the beauty that comes there. Anyways, do it however you want. I just wanted you to be aware of that. Press OK, and then select all, edit copy, go back into slides, and then edit paste. Okay, there it is. All right. And then on top of here, type in brightness contrast, please. All righty. So this is what you should have. Any questions? It is now 10:26. I'll give you till 10:27 to do this. If there's any question, please ask. Okay. And please visit the pyramids. Seriously, it's such a, I mean, I would imagine seeing pictures is one thing, but going to places and, I don't, it's just one of these things that I hope you do, especially seniors, and travel the world, go around, see what's out there. I think more people should access, of course, if it's COVID friendly for you guys. Alrighty, so you are welcome. Now let's see what I want to show you. Image adjustments. Okay, let's open up the next one, which is a grassy field. So we're gonna use a different slide. There is if you do File, Open, there should be a picture called grassy green grass right there. Okay, so you're welcome to use that if it's not too there. It's pretty good size. You can feel free to shut down the pyramids if you like. Okay, and you don't have to save anything. You don't have to save. Just leave it alone. Okay. So now you've got this nice grassy field. So let's go ahead and please do that. And can we use it? Yes, you can use your own images. Okay. You're not. I just thought I'd do that as a favor, just so you guys can. But you can find any image you want. You can find rainforest. Okay. Type in rainforest if you want. If that's what you want or whatever is. I just thought I'd save time because you know, it just kind of saves time. So because I want to get in as much as possible. At any rate, with this grassy field, I like to introduce again. You can try the adjustments. Try brightness, contrast again, but make sure it goes back. See how nicer? Look how greener it is. Okay. Okay, and then if I put contrast, if I go a little bit backwards, you notice. And of course, if I do the opposite, it looks like a complete different picture. Okay, so anyways, please go back, cancel it. Please go back to 0. Now let's try this. Image, adjustments, and what I'd like you to do now is click on hue saturation. Hue saturation. Okay, this is a popular one. Now, what hue saturation does, it highlights colors. And so this is kind of complicated. But again, there's no math. So watch what happens when I decide to move the hue, okay? Now, what is hue? Okay, I'm not going to require that you know this, but hue, not huevos ranchos. What is hue? Hue is the dominant color, okay? It basically is I guess it's a color that kind of gets exposed the most. Okay, so it's one of these orange, red, green. So sorry I had to look at, but I never quite understood hue. I know saturation means saturate. That means kind of dull down a little bit. But blue. But if you look at hue, just go ahead and click on the blue right here. You see that how the blue, the sky kind of changes? And then if you turn it to the right towards a green, look what happens to the grass. Now you got like purple kind of, you see how everything changes? And now let's go back to 0 on hue and let's try saturation, okay? And saturation meaning you're either dulling or really bringing out something. So say you want to dull the grass because it was really bright. So look at that now, okay? So saturation, okay, I don't know if, like I said, I don't really focus on terminology in this course. So I'm going to go up here. Saturation, all right, is basically, let me see, what does saturation mean? It's kind of hard. Let me go ahead and type it in, saturation color. Okay, so Photoshop defines a range. Okay, is some color intensity. Okay, color intensity. So in other words, it can go, if you look at this red, you got solid red, but then you've got dull red. So it depends how pure. Okay, it's sort of like dipping a paint bucket in a pure red paint. I mean, when you were younger, obviously in kindergarten, first grade, you painted a lot. But when you first dip a brush into paint, and when you splatter it onto the canvas, you see how, when you first touch it, it's solid red, but then it kind of goes away as you stroke. So that's the intensity, and that's what this is right here. So if you go into here, okay, and you'll notice that the green really gets highlighted, okay? Again, now here's one thing you may want to focus on is, let's see, trying to figure this out. You also want to click on, make sure, colorize, okay. Anyways, you can just play with it. Again, and lightness, of course, is the same as brightness, is how much light you let in, okay? And you can make this into something really cool. You can, like I said, the colors can be brighter, could be whatever. At any rate, choose whichever color you want. And what I'd like for you to do, okay, and I know I didn't do this yet, but let's go to history and click on the grassy green original. Okay, the original. Let's go to history. Go ahead and do a Command A or select all and copy, Command C or edit copy, and go into the slides and let's go ahead and paste the first one. Let's go ahead and paste it. All right, and then go ahead and shrink it. And what you can do is on top of it, bring it down a little bit, and you can again put a text box in there and type in original. All right, that's good enough. Whoops, right there. Okay, good enough. And you can shrink it a little bit more if you like. All right, and then what I like you to do is go back into Photoshop and go back to image mode. I'm sorry, adjustments, hue saturation. All right, and then go ahead and just kind of come up with a different picture. I just want you to be aware that it exists. And then once you're happy with something, go ahead and copy it again. And then paste it onto here. Okay, put it down right next to it. And then right next to it, put down hue saturation. All right, and it is now 10:33. I will give you till 10:35, okay, to catch up on both images if you need it. For those of you who are done, feel free to open any image you want. I'm going to open up, let's see. I'm going to open up building. Open up with Photoshop. Okay, so building is here. All right, and whichever one you want to do, go ahead and copy it. Okay, select all, copy, and put it already into the new slide. There it is right there. Well, trying at least. And I noticed it kind of went down a little bit. So let's go ahead and shrink this guy. And you'll notice a nice rich colors and things like that. So okay. What do you mean the first image? Like the first image? Just leave it alone. This image that I have right here. Right. Oh, the first slide you're talking about is brightness and contrast. Second one is hue saturation. I spelled saturation wrong. Saturation. All right. And this one is going to be so Ricardo, open up Photoshop, okay, and we're working on the adjustments. So you kind of came in. What you can do is I'm recording this, so if you want to watch it later on, just follow along what I do. So open up Photoshop, open up your Google Slides, the ones that we worked on before called Final Project. I also provided some images, so if you want to download the image right here, adjustments, or we can find on your own. But most importantly, have Photoshop and have the Final Project. So get that ready. All right, the next thing I wanted to show you now with this is, again, you may want to go ahead and look at, just try brightness contrast. See what happens. Look at that. See how much nicer it gets, how much And then we can highlight the colors really by contrasting it. See that? How we can, and notice how if we put less brightness and how we put contrast, the colors really come out. At any rate, go ahead and press cancel. And then go ahead and try with image adjustments and try hue saturation. And let's see what happens when you kind of change it. Look at that, the building colors change. So now it's now that looks cool. Look at that. Now that's a building I wouldn't mind staying in. If it looked like that, you know, this is the modern building. It got a lot of color here. And so it looks really cool. But anyways, please don't do anything. Just look and press cancel. And now what I'd like you to do is go ahead and go to a, say we want to, let's go ahead and click on color balance. And let's try this, okay? Look at that, same thing. Now this time it doesn't, color balance kind of works with, you know, you can use a whole bunch of different tools. They all do the same thing. And I'm not an expert in this really, but this is more photography than it is graphic arts. And so me, I just kind of play with it until I get something I like. All right. So what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and get a color balance. I chose to, you know, do midtones and highlights. You can go ahead and like work with different parts. The shadows are like, you know, the darker areas. So if you notice that everything kind of starts again, so you may want to move, like play with it and see if you notice any kind of difference. Okay, but notice the sky is turned purple. Alrighty. At any rate, once you're at a point where you're kind of like done messing around with it, go ahead and, you know, select all, copy, okay? So for those who came in late, we said select all, okay? And then edit copy, okay? And then paste it on to, where is it? Paste it on into slides. Now, Ricardo, we had started with brightness contrast. We started with hue saturation. Now we're doing color balance. So let's paste it. Okay, hopefully it'll paste somewhere. Oops. So if it goes to another slide, just Command X, cut it, and then put it on the right slide, and then shrink it so that we can compare the two images. And if you leave it like this, I'm cool with it. See how it overlaps? So I think that's a really cool image. That's the one you hang on your wall. This one, yes, not so much this one. So anyways, go ahead and click on the text tool and type in color balance. All right, good. And if I was to do photography class, believe me, I would definitely focus on this this feature of Photoshop, which, you know, I thought was rather easy. But of course, you know, this is not a photography class per se. This is a graphics class. So if we were just doing photography, it'd be a whole different thing. Okay. So with that being said, it is 10:40. Let's any questions so far? Anything that I can answer? Ready to move on? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and open any, you can find any image online. I don't care. It's up to you. Now, I'm going to open up football. Our former quarterback here, Mr. Amasquite. Some of you may know him. Seniors may know him. I'm going to increase the image size. He's at 500. I'm going to go up to 800. Okay, make him a little bit bigger. So again, image size. And actually, I can make him bigger. I can make him 1,000. Let's go ahead and put 1,000. So he still looks good. No pixelation really. Alrighty. So now I'm going to show you a really cool thing here. Image, adjustments, and let's say we want to do black and white. Okay. There's several things we can do. Okay. First of all, black and white right there. Black and white. So it just removes. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at that. Now he turned into black and white. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is undo this, go to history, go back to undo what we just did. Go ahead and command select all, copy, go into Google Slides, paste. There he is. Gladstone has a great new guy for a football coach. For those of you guys playing next year, I really expect a winning season, or really at least, you guys are going to have a really good time because Coach Lopez he's really smart, and I think you guys are going to have a great year. Okay, so let's go ahead and put down original, and then go back here, and again, go to image, adjustments, black and white. It'll ask you all these things over here. Look, even at black and white, if you can see how it changed. Okay, so the first thing, so you can actually make it a different black and white. See that? So again, there's no real science to this. You just kind of like play around until you get something you like. So anyways, so I'm going to go back into adjustments, black and white, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'm good with that. Copy it, Command C, because I got the marching ants around. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and on the top here, type in black and white. Okay, that's all that I'm going to put. Alrighty, cool. Anybody have any questions about this? Anything at all? Alrighty, it's okay to ask. We're just going to do a couple more, and that we'll call it a class. All right, so now we've got, let's see, image adjustments. Let's see, what can I, oh, okay. Well, there is one more thing. I'm trying to think here. Let's go ahead and open up the, yikes, she came in really late. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up Ocean. You'll see a lot of pretty little fishies here. All right, and if you want image size, let's make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go up to 2,000 pixels. Karen, I'm recording this, so if you want to kind of do this later, okay, we can have you do this because we're about almost done actually. So I'm recording this, but we're working on the image adjustments tab right here, and we've kind of gone down a little bit over here. All right, so you can watch this kind of easy. So, all right, one last thing I kind of want to show you. It may not be the last thing, but let's go ahead again with what I'd like for you to do is just kind of choose 3 things that we just learned: brightness, contrast. Okay, so see how, look at that, beautiful, look at that. And this, by the way, is a drawing, not an actual photography. And then press cancel, kind of see, and then let's do hue saturation, image adjustment, or color balance rather. Kind of see where it takes. Click on. I was having internet issues. Okay, that's fine. No problem. You can take care of it. And anyways, press cancel once you're done. And then let's see. You can also do hue saturation and see where it goes. Kind of crazy. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to do this. First of all, let's go ahead and select all, copy, and find a new slide and paste it on there. And then you're going to have to shrink, obviously. So kind of limit it. Type in original. All right. And by the way, the last day for instruction for this class is going to be, well, let's see, today's the first. It's really because the seniors, now there's only 3 seniors, so the last day of instruction will probably be next, I want all grades in by the 10th, okay? So during the 7th, 8th, and 9th, this will be all kind of makeup day for the semester. So 7th, 8th, and 9th, there's the last day of instruction is going to be the 4th. For this class, it'll be Thursday, the 3rd. So that's all we're going to do. We'll turn this in, and then next week, because we have 3 days of graduation, and you know, the last 2 days is practically just half days. So we have instructions. I want all grades due to be turned in by the 10th. I want to turn all grades in by the 11th. Okay. So the deadline is definitely the 10th. Okay, you have until then to make everything up by the 11th. There's really not much else to be done. All right, so you've got the original here. Now I'm going to show you this really cool effect. Let's go ahead and do this. Image, adjustments, invert. Look at this, invert. Click on that. Check it out. Okay, comes up with a whole new thing. So it's kind of like the negative of a film. All right, let's do this really quickly. First of all, once you've inverted this, go ahead and copy it and paste it into slides. There it is right there. And then go ahead and put in invert. All right, and that'll be it. But I do want to show you one more thing, okay, and we'll add that as well. Okay, so if you need more slides, go ahead and click on plus. All right, and then go ahead and remove these 2 fields. Going into Photoshop, File, New. Okay, and let's just choose 1,000 by 1,000, if you can have it, or just go ahead and manually enter it. 1,000 by 1,000, okay, whatever. 1,000 by 1,000 at 72. And what I'd like for you to do is, what is this? Interesting. You shouldn't have red. You shouldn't have black either. You should have white. Okay. What I'd like for you to do now, okay, is create a new layer. Okay. So you should have 1,000 by 1,000. So actually, I'm going to give you it's 1050. I'll give you till 1051 to get everything ready and start the last step of this. Do not turn in, you're saving it for now. You'll turn this in at the conclusion of the next class. Okay, so you don't have to turn it in. But it should still be saved in your respective Google Classroom. Okay. All right, so now, well, it's not 1051 yet, but can I move forward? Press 1 if it's okay. Kind of fast moving, so. All right. So what I'd like you to do now is layer, new layer, new layer, okay? And you can call it layer 1. And what I'd like you to do is click on anything, a marquee or a circle, whatever you want. I'm going to choose a circle. And I'm just going to ask you to create a nice circle. Right-click, fill it with any color you want, okay? I'm going to choose a red color. So you may want to choose color right here. And I'm going to choose red. Is that red? I guess that's as red as can be. So I've got a red circle here. Then what I like you to do is click on layer, new layer. Okay, so there's two layers, and this time create another circle inside the first. And you don't have to center it if you don't want to. And now what I'd like you to do in the new layer, go ahead and fill it with another color. I'm going to choose blue this time. Okay, let me see what happens. Before I tell you any further, let me make sure I know what I'm doing. No, okay. All right, so layer, new layer. So this time fill it with blue. Okay, or whatever color you want. Next thing is flatten. You see how it's in 3 different layers? Okay, so if you click on this little icon right here, you should eventually get to flatten image. Flatten image. So go ahead and flatten that image and notice how everything is now in one image. Anybody need me to slow down and repeat? We are almost done. Okay, so now, okay, what I like you to do is Command All, select all, copy, and paste it into slides. Okay, there it is. Put this down as the original. Now go back into Photoshop and then do invert. Image, adjustments, invert. Look at that. Okay, go ahead and copy that and paste that on to Photoshop as well. Even the background now is black. So it takes exactly the opposite. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in invert as well. Okay, you can type it in or you can, there it is right there. Okay, and that's all she wrote, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.